All right, welcome to topic 4-6 as we're looking at combining expressions. So when you have two different expressions that go together and how you can work to combine them, right? In this case, we're going to be focusing on adding expressions together and how that works. So example 1 led you through the process, how to first identify the expressions if they're not given to you, and then how to go ahead and combine them. Example 2 is going to continue that process by looking at another example of how it works, right? The wording is going to be a little bit different. Finding the expressions are going to be changing because we want you to be able to do it in a variety of different forms. So it says Cindy spent $125 on ingredients for muffins and $92.40 on ingredients for bagels. Write an expression to represent Cindy's profits for M muffins and B bagels. So how much is she profiting as she's making these bagels, right? So first of all, it decides to take forever to load this up. But we come away with two expressions. Somehow I think I missed. There it is. All right. Right, take a muffin. Here's the price of a muffin, how many muffins I'm selling, and cost of ingredients is $125, not $12.50. There's a misprint. I think we gotta start emailing these guys and talking about this. Right? $9.25, double misprint. Yikes, yikes, yikes. All right, so that should be $92.40, just like it says up here. All right, but in the end, we come away with those two expressions. Right? So expression 1 was $2.40 muffins, and how much money was spent, and then the second one was $1.80 bagels minus $92.40, right? So to get total profit, we got to take what she's doing in both of these and add them together, right? And so as you add them together, we're going to see this taking place, right? So we see our two equations. All right, looks like they went ahead and fixed them for us now. So we have our two equations. We're adding them together. And of course, we're looking to use commutative property, associative property, distributive property, if that applies, and to combine things together. Looks like our focus is mostly commutative and associative property here because that's what it says in blue. Right? So as we start to put things together, we see we do have an M and a B. So there are two variables in here, and so we got to leave them separate because they're not alike. However, our negative 125 and minus 9240 definitely go together. And so if you were to do the math, you'd come away with this number of negative $217.40 is the total loss to make it. And then of course, here's our combination of factors there. So moving it all, rearranging it, we get a new expression that allows us to understand the total profits from this, right? So we have that idea and what's going on with the math on this one. All right, no trying on this one. Some of you maybe are crying, some of you are not. Let's move on to example 3, which gives you plenty of opportunities to put some expressions together. All right, so example 3 basically just gives you two expressions, says put it together. All right, so let's work through this problem together. All right, so I've rewritten the expression here, so we have a nice large space to work here, and we're going to write our answer and work with this. Now, of course, with any problem, the first thing we want to do is understand our terms. So we have this term, right, and this term, and this term. So we got those three terms, and then of course we have this term, and finally, of course, this term. So we got to put things that look the same together. So we're going to rewrite this as, right, this one has an x, this one has an x. They're the same. So we're doing 1 half x plus 1/4 x. So we have that idea. And the next thing we're doing, and we can actually put this in parentheses just to keep everything separate, we're going to add new parentheses. Right, next expression is going to be -3, and that's going to go with the +5 over here, right? Things have to match. So I'm just doing it in that order. So we're doing that. And then we put another plus side down, and we'll throw our last expression, which has to be our y's, like this. So -2y minus 2y. And my window is being cut off a little bit. So hopefully you can see everything. All right, now that we've done that phase, now we can start to evaluate this expression and simplify these things. Right, so now we're going to use basically distributive property principles, right, and start factoring things out. So we know that this half and this fourth are going to combine. So we're going to add those two together, and we're going to be left with an x in front of them. So 1/2 plus 1/4. We're going to have to change this to 2/4, so we have a common denominator. So 2/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4 x. Right? Then we're going to add, and next we have a -3 plus a 5, so that gives us 2. And then finally we're going to add what's going on here, which is a -2, right? Technically it's plus another -2, right? Just like subtracting a +2y would be the same as adding a -2y. So we're going to combine those two. So as we visually look at this, we're really doing this plus -2. Negative plus a negative remains negative. So we say -4, and we put the y down there like that. Right, and this is in parentheses. And usually when you write expressions, we want to do kind of two things. One, we want our terms with variables to come first, and then our terms without variables to go last. And then we also follow the rule of the alphabet, so because x comes first in our alphabet, we're actually going to put that first. And then next we're going to make sure we have all our variables, so y comes next, and then 2 just like that. And that gives us an answer to our expression. So we just took what we had, combined the things that were alike, and rewrote the equation in alphabetical highest to lowest, because variables do that. All right, your try it gives you 4 different chances to come together and solve different types of problems using fractions and decimals and different things like that. So that takes us to the end of topic 4-6. And so you have these triads to work through to check your understanding. All right, until next.